Hello, everybody. It's the Powercast Podcast again for the 4th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have a lot of news because there's been a lot of gaming talk this week. We are joined by Cabbage Cartman.
Woo!
We're joined by someone new called D-Man77 Gaming.
What's up? What's up?
We're joined by P. Gersey NY.
Hey.
We are joined by Luke Thomas NY.
What up?
And SFD Firefighter once again.
Yeah.
Right, so let's start off like we always do. What have we played this week? Let's start off with SFD.
I've been playing Call of Duty. I've been getting the grind going for the Black Ops Cold War guns for skins. That's pretty much it. Been playing Pokemon Sword, the expansion packs on my Switch, and that's about it, honestly.
Sounds fun. Now, what about you, Luke Thomas NY?
I got back into Roblox this week. I played some Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, a little bit of Call of Duty, and then I actually played through Act 1 of Quantum Break, and then I thought I was going to be starting Act 2, but instead they hit you with this like 40-minute cutscene, and it's like a total snooze fest. Yeah. I was basically falling asleep, like, when is this going to end? And then by the time it was ready to start Act 2, I was like, well, I don't even want to play a video game anymore. I just basically watched a 40-minute episode of a terrible TV show I didn't want to watch. Like,
True.
So yeah. What about you, Phil? What'd you play?
Nice, Mike.
Well, I played a crap load of Call of Duty. The DMR is just, killing it. So, had to get on that train. SFD joined in a little bit on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not really much. There's a couple new glitches in Call of Duty right now that's making people go wild and go crazy. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit or something. But yeah.
What about you, D-Man?
I have been playing an absolute ton of Jurassic World Evolution. It was free for a couple days on Epics, and I picked it up, and I have been smashing 8 hours on that game. Probably more than I should, but it's a lot of fun. It's not too bad. But you, Firefighter, my bottom, right?
We've done SFD. Let's go over to Cabbage Cartman.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I've been playing like the normal, the Call of Duty, a little bit like the Ocarina of Time randomizer, but I have been playing a lot of Binding of Isaac to catch up and kind of prepare for the new Binding of Isaac expansion.
Which we'll definitely talk about at some point.
Which we will talk about later today, yeah.
That was another thing I forgot to mention is I finished that run through of Better OOT, and then I jailbroke one of my 2DSs, the Pikachu 2DS with the brown and yellow, and I was actually playing a little bit of Ocarina of Time 3D on that again as well. So I've been playing Ocarina of Time pretty heavily as well.
Okay,
but I'm not streaming.
Pretty fun, pretty good. Well, on to me. So lately, I went around in my attic and I found my old PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, some kind of PlayStation remote, like driving wheel, which I had to get an adapter for to use on PC. But it works perfectly fine, and I've been playing Euro Truck Simulator 2, which is interesting. I tried a bit of Phasmophobia, and I did a lot of Prison Architect this week. And I have hopped back into Rust since it's been back up on the scale, and, all the streamers have got drops and stuff.
You just gotta play everything from now on with that racing wheel, though.
Oh yeah, just like Call of Duty. Oh, wait, gotta get into
like
a car.
Those videos, like the videos of people doing it with guitars,
Yeah.
That's the thing. People actually do that.
Yeah, they do. It's really weird.
That's impressive. I gotta look that
Or
up.
like people will like beat games with dance pads, like DVR dance pads.
I think I saw someone beat Dark Souls 3 with like I think it was a guitar.
That's impressive.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's like one of the hardest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, the
I've done
internet.
it twice.
Lying ass.
Yeah. So let's go talk about how I think it was Cabbage Cartman was on about the Binding of Isaac. Let's talk about the new announcement for it. And I think the
so
next
what
person for that is Luke.
Well, I mean, all I heard was that it was like a new DLC that they were saying was the size of a sequel or something. John, did you hear anything like specific about it?
I haven't heard anything super specific other than basically that, but the trailer kind of gives it a couple clues. In the trailer, they show off pretty much all the old characters and a bunch of old items and pretty much all of the books and whatnot. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to be like a rework on a couple of those items and then a whole bunch of new items coming in. I think they're going to kind of change the game just enough for it to be like a brand new whole game. That's what I think they mean by sequel like.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've always really liked what they've done with Binding of Isaac. So I don't know. I'm excited to check it out. Do you know if I'm assuming it costs money if it's that big of a DLC, but I haven't looked into the price or anything.
I'm assuming it's going to be like Afterbirth Plus. Like the release the full game, and if you have the game already, give you like a discount $25-$30 for the DLC.
Let's see. Binding of Isaac Repentance it's called. And it's planned to come out Q1 2021. So I think that's by like when's that, by like March, the end of March or something. And yeah, no price. Just a rough release date.
And really nothing even talked about. But it looks like it's going to be a Steam only release for now. That it's not going to be released on like the Switch version or anything like that.
So it's only PC.
It seems like this is only going to be PC. They talked about it at PAX, and it seems like it's just going to be a bunch of new bosses, a bunch of new items, and a rework of the system.
New bosses, new items. I mean, I like Binding of Isaac, so I'm excited to check it out. As long as it's not too expensive, I'll most likely pick it up at.
Well, especially, I think Binding of Isaac right now, especially with Afterbirth Plus, you can play through it over and over again, but the rooms get repetitive. The style of rooms, although that might be beneficial at the beginning, but it's definitely like it gets really repetitive. I'd like to see some crazy stuff happen in other rooms. Give me a pitch black room that's like a little bit too large and everything's like watery on the ground or something, and something different. Especially bosses too. They only have a set number of bosses in the original game.
For me, a thing is that like even though there's like a pretty like large number of items, I feel like a lot of the time I end up seeing the same ones. Anybody else here ever play Binding of Isaac?
I played a little bit.
I've never even heard of it.
What?
Well, just for reference, it's from the same people who made Super Meat Boy.
Okay.
And Super Meat Boy just put out a sequel, Super Meat Boy Forever or something like that. I think both of those are on Game Pass, so for people who have Game Pass, you can check it out for free, or as part of your membership or whatever. But yeah, if nobody else here is really into Binding of Isaac or has really played it, I guess we can kind of move on to something else. But it's definitely something I would recommend checking out. That's one of my most played games on Steam as far as like hours spent in a game. That's like right up there with like GTA 5. So definitely something I'd recommend checking out. It's kind of look and feels like Legend of Zelda. The original Legend of Zelda for NES. Once you're in a dungeon, the way there's enemies in the room, you got to defeat the enemies to move on to the next part of the dungeon.
Right.
Yeah, top-down roguelike. Each time you die, that's the end of the run. You start fresh.
Pogchamp.
I got something.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Everyone was talking last episode about the new Black PS5.
Oh yeah.
It's been canceled due to credible threats
Wow.
to safety.
Safety.
So they've actually
Wow.
refunded everybody who's pre-ordered one, and
From what I heard, it was pretty hard to get one too. There was only like 500 being made.
oh god,
Like 304. I think it was really, really low.
It was 500 of them.
I have a feeling that these black PS5s that are an homage to the PS2 would actually be more liked by the community
True.
versus the regular white PS5.
True. Facts.
I think the black one would definitely be more well received.
The thing
I said
is,
the
right,
day they came out with the picture of it, I was like, I'll wait for the black one.
the thing is, right,
Yep.
if you look
Yeah.
at all the past PlayStations, none of them has come out defaultly white, apart from this new PS5.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, they've gone with gray before with like the PS1, but never like the true white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And it's also
PS1
massive.
revision. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, the PS1, like the slim revision of the PS1 with the rounded edges, is even like a really like light gray compared to the original PS1, which is like kind of like more like, I guess, like normal gray.
I would have
Uh,
liked to see them almost do the gray, come back with the gray instead of white. That would have been
Oh,
more
feel like-
appealing to me.
it is 304 because it was released on 3/4/2000.
Yeah, they were
That was
set
why
to
they did
make
them.
Yeah.
only 304.
I thought it was something like that. Something.
Super low. That's
That's
crazy. They
awesome.
kept saying you
That's-
got to be like real lucky for it.
That looks cool. I'm just now looking it up. I feel like Microsoft and all these people who make these consoles should have a variety of colors that people can choose from, especially if they're like a content creator and they have their whole setup in studio after one color. Like I have mine for blue. I feel like you should have different type of consoles, but I guess where skins come in.
With the PS5, yeah, D brand, that like skin company, already said that they, we were talking about this last week, that they're gonna release faceplates that you can pop off and pop on their faceplates for it. And I think the only color they're launching initially is a matte black color, because I guess
Thank
there's
God.
that many people that want that instead of the white. So,
Yeah, it looks
regardless
cool
of
with the
whether or
blue.
not we end up getting officially a black one from Sony at some point, it sounds like you'll have options. So
Right.
As a
And I'm
marketing
sure,
point, why not?
I'm sure controller companies are going to come out with black controllers, red controllers, instead of just the default white and black, white with the black accents. I'm
Yeah.
sure, you're going to get what's the controller with the buttons on the back? One of you guys
Yeah.
knows.
like the Elite controllers or like the
Yeah.
Astro controllers and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many controllers with buttons on the back these days, like the Scuff controllers.
Yep. The Scuff
It'd
are what I
be
was thinking about, yeah.
interesting to see how like SCUF controllers and stuff are gonna adapt to like the new PlayStation style with like the adaptive triggers and stuff. Are they gonna keep that in like their style for PS5, or is PS5 players gonna continue to use the older style with the triggers and?
I would be surprised if that's a switch. Like when you order your controller, you can choose adaptive trigger or go traditional trigger.
I would assume for competitive play, most people wouldn't want the adaptive triggers.
Right.
Yeah, you
Because
want
it's
that.
just extra, something to do when you
Yeah.
you just want to be able to shoot.
Right.
If anything, that's where the Elite controller for the Xbox has those half step options where you can like click it halfway up, so you only have to press the trigger halfway down to fire the gun.
How about that? Our views point up. Just way up.
Hi,
Huh?
Mom. So what were we talking about? What's up? Controllers. What's up? Oh yeah, skins for controllers, PS4. Let's stay on track though here. I think we got cyberpunk mods up next.
We do. So recently, after like so many like weeks, I think it's been a couple of months actually since Cyberpunk came out.
It was the 9th of December.
Yeah.
So
So
it's been a month and a day.
yeah. So there's finally some good mods out there which change how the game plays and fixes many issues which CD Projekt didn't fix themselves yet.
Now, have you tried any of these mods?
Yeah, I tried a couple. So I tried the one where you change your character. So you can change your character in game now, but it's a bit complicated. So what it does, it loads up the file you have, and then it shows you like an image of what you currently look like, and then it shows you an image of what your edited version would look like. It's like a third-party program that you have to run. So
Hmm.
I wonder how that is on your PC, like with the new Microsoft mods for the flight simulator. It's destroying their PCs.
well,
I haven't heard anything about
wonder.
that.
Yeah, it just came out. I think yesterday about the Microsoft mods that are just like really ruining their PCs with how it runs, and it's so slow. I wonder if it affects the gameplay for Cyberpunk at all.
Well, I mean,
But
that
so
one,
you
That one's a third-party one, so technically it's not running in the game. It's just changing some file settings, so it's not really doing anything to the game.
It's just like editing values.
Exactly. Well, that's what most mods are doing, because there's not really any like actual modding tools out there yet. So it's just normally changing the files now. There's one where it makes it third person, so like that kind of enables you to be able to play the game in third person. It's very,
Did you try that?
very glitchy. So the animations are not there. So when you pull out a gun, your arm just goes like this. It's like you're playing VR, and me and John just do this half the time. But it's legit that broken. It's weird. I haven't tried them all, but I did try a couple, and they were the ones I tried out quickly. But there's like a lot more which fixes like driving, like better driving in the game, because like some people don't like the driving in that game. And it's like more options for your settings. There's better ray tracing, just things what make the game better.
I guess we'll still have to wait and see what the developers do officially.
Exactly.
You know, because
I mean,
a lot of that might be moot eventually. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, there's still
As
meant
the
I
to
know
be.
people love the ray trace.
I mean, I don't. Not because my PC can't run it, of course. It can't. It can't even run it on low graphics half the time. So, but
Ouch. I
Does
feel
it-
like that's the same thing with Watch Dogs.
yeah, Watch Dogs was terrible for FPS on my computer. But there's meant to be a big update for Cyberpunk at some point this month. I remember them saying in a blog post somewhere. It's meant to be like a massive update this month, which is going to fix many issues. So can't wait to see how that is.
yeah. To be honest, I'm gonna go back and check out my save file once they drop that to see if the 2 missions that were broken for me are fixed. And that's about all I'm interested in. You know, to be honest, like left to do with the game. Maybe once they add New Game Plus and I can kind of keep my guns and replay through the story, I might be interested in doing that. But for now, I'm pretty much done with the game. So even like mods and whatever, I'm very disinterested in.
Yeah.
I'm more waiting for that big update.
I mean, apparently also there's meant to be like there's early signs of some sort of free DLC coming out in 2021, like early 2021.
I think they straight up announced it. I think they just said they were doing that.
Oh, really?
So,
Wow.
yeah. But I don't know for sure.
That's pretty cool. More content.
Who here played Breath of the Wild?
Nope.
No,
Nope. Never.
A little bit. When I
only
had-
me and John, and then a little bit from Phil.
Yeah.
I'll have to look this one up to figure out what this is. It's Breath of the Wild. What's it about?
It's
So
about
it's only-
saving.
Sorry.
It's a Zelda game. I was gonna
Yeah, The Legend
I,
of Zelda.
I was gonna elaborate on the story since you asked what it was about.
I
Should
played
do.
it a little bit until Eric took it. Until I gave it to Eric.
Yeah, so you stole it. Well, so the non-playable characters, the NPCs in the game, are just based off of like me characters they figured out. People figured out that you can import me characters into Breath of the Wild, and they basically just generate an NPC character. And so they started taking like famous Mii's from different like Nintendo games. Like think like tennis, you know, the guy you play against in tennis in like Wii Sports or something like that. And they imported him, or like they imported the one guy from Final Fantasy VII, his Mii fighter from Super Smash Bros. So you know, now he's an NPC in Zelda, which is actually pretty wild to think that a Final Fantasy VII main character is an NPC potentially now in like a mod of Breath of the Wild.
And it's
But
all
yeah.
canon because of Smash.
Yeah. So, I guess that was like the news about that. There's and then the person who discovered it, I guess this is the thing that maybe was a little bit more interesting to me. The person who discovered it was willing to like take commissions to put people's Mii's in the game. So I'm wondering kind of how long it'll be till Nintendo shuts that down. It says no more.
Maybe they could sue him and take the money that he makes off of it, off of those commissions.
They probably will.
Like they could.
Oh, Nintendo. New COD glitches, Phil. You were saying something about
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, just like what isn't a glitch now?
True.
So there was a new glitch where to do with the resupply box, the ammo boxes, you could get unlimited of them. And so basically, if you had a stim selected, um, when you threw the box down, you could use the stim like outside of the circle. When you don't have a stim, you could throw another box down, or you could just throw like 50 boxes down everywhere and just like keep using stims as soon as they run out. There's a lot of new wall glitches, I guess, back where you can like find spots in the wall to hop in and like you're invisible. It's a mess. It's
Yeah.
just
I feel like
we're
that's
a complete
tradition,
mess right
though.
now.
Glitches in COD.
We did get the nerf for the DMR that did absolutely nothing. It's
True.
still pretty OP. But
The
just
Diamati's
use
are
it.
the same thing. The
Yeah.
effective range is a little bit shorter, but that's about it.
People are like, how do you get around it? How do you get around it? You don't. You just use it.
True. Unless you're Mike.
Yeah. Mike has got a way around everything.
True. There was one at the start of the I think it was start of this week. When the new update came out, you could glitch into the gulag mid game
Oh,
with like
that's
your
right.
I
with
heard
your
about
Warzone weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody here see that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
saw
seen
that.
it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah, you have to go stand above where the gulag is and basically call in a supply crate, and it like pushes you into the gulag.
Yeah, and you can just
What
get
the
free
fuck?
kills.
What's the
Yeah, and
gulag
then
like legit underground,
Yeah,
like in the
apparently.
map?
Yeah, apparently
yeah,
they
it's
just said
underground. It's under the map.
hey, here's a mountain. Let's put the gulag underneath.
Like Call of Duty is notorious for glitches that people like to export.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exploit.
There's also a new glitch that if you call in a supply crate and you're standing underneath it, it'll put you inside that crate.
Jesus.
Nobody can see you, but you're actually crouching inside that crate, and you can shoot outside of it, get your kills, and people just think that you're a supply loadout.
Yep.
They
There's
should just remove the supply loadout. That's right.
there's the glitch that freezes the game when you go get your supply loadout too.
Oh,
True.
But
Like for everyone else, or just
for the person using the loadout, it like freezes his game.
very fun.
Yep. And you're actually invisible for about a minute and a half after you've gotten out of the loadout.
You know, one thing I
So-
never checked is if they put the old helicopters back in
Oh,
Alcatraz.
yeah.
They have not.
No,
No.
still not.
Nope. Miniguns are still not a thing
They
anymore.
can't figure it out.
How can we make it so they don't turn invisible?
so, and it sounds like it's all Warzone stuff. It doesn't sound like there's really that many glitches in the multiplayer.
Nobody plays multiplayer, that's why.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, a lot of people do. It's that grind.
Well, yeah, but one's
Mhm.
free, one's not. There was a rumor
True.
that zombies were coming free to play at some point.
I doubt that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean I've seen him.
Zombies
passing
is a
around.
big selling point.
Exactly. I wouldn't see them putting that free, but I
Maybe
don't
free
know.
DLC.
Well, yeah, free DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More free DLC. More.
More.
I know all the DLC are gonna be free. There was some news that season 2 is gonna start around about February. I think it was February or March, some point. And that's when the new zombies map's gonna come out.
Well, I'm assuming season
So
2
they
is going
say.
to start right at the end of season 1. like it normally would.
Exactly. Which I think's like February 28th.
I think it's like 50 days.
Yeah.
Right.
So the seasons, are they going to do what they did with Fortnite?
No, Call of Duty's not advanced. They don't care. They just said, "Hey, end of this season. Here's a cutscene. Next one."
Well, they did one event, remember? The one of Warzone event.
Yeah, for
When
Cold War.
they blew open the dome. That one.
Yeah.
Was
I
that
wonder
an
if they'll
in-game
do
event?
one. Yeah. Remember? We were like running to the stadium.
Oh yeah.
And like you had to like do missions and like yeah.
Yeah, that was.
There
a
was
good one.
also the event when Black Ops was getting announced, and you had to like run around and do all the Black Opsy stuff to
Yeah.
get like the charms for your gun and stuff.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Cut another piece of cheese here.
Well, since we started streaming on Twitch, there's been a lot of
Cheese.
stuff lately. So, Pogchamp, the iconic emote, which everyone uses when a cool moment happens. So, like, you could see SFD get like 20 kills in Warzone, and everyone would spam Pogchamp in chat. That has sadly been removed and replaced
Goodbye.
with a new one, where every 24 hours a new streamer on the platform is selected for the new Pogchamp face, which is cool. But like the faces they've picked are quite irrelevant, and nobody like knows them really.
I hope they pick me because I'm irrelevant.
I mean, yeah, I think that was their objective there, is to find somebody that nobody really knows to give them some kind of traction, like what Mr. Beast did in the YouTube Rewind, giving people some traction and popularity. I mean, people in the Rewind got like 100,000 subscribers in like 5 days.
That's
just
true.
by him calling somebody out. So I feel like with it being nearly very difficult to do something to get traction on Twitch, I feel like that would be their goal there.
Yeah. And as well, Frank which is a third-party program like extension for your browser, which adds more emotes if the streamer allows it. They've also removed any kind of remote related with the creator of Pogchamp, which is kind of sad because a lot of people use them. So like there was like Pogo, Pogu. There's like a lot of them, and they've just all been removed.
What was
as
the
well.
reason for it? Why they got removed?
Well,
Did they say?
it was like political
Oh, I was
views.
gonna say, did he want money?
No.
No, he made a remark on Twitter about the girl who got killed inside of the United States Capitol building. And I don't know enough about the situation or what was said to really fully comment on it. I just know it was his remarks that he made about that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too into that because that's like political stuff potentially. But
Exactly. Also, whilst we're on about Twitch and gaming, I want to talk about how Twitch can make or break a new game or a old game. For example, Rust recently has gained, I think it's 100,000 people to their player base this month from just Twitch. Like Twitch, it's like influencing it. Because a bunch of streamers have got their own like loot drops now, which people, if you watch them for 4 hours, you get an in-game item for it, like a skin, and like it's just made the viewer base go up, like the player base. It's cool though. All the servers are really fun now.
Here's the thing with that. There's one server, and I'm sure there's backups to this server out there somewhere, but
no, there's multiple.
all of the streamers have been on this one server.
Yeah.
So they've been, interacting. Like, let's say XQC and Shroud, you would never see them play games together, but now they're interacting in this game, and you're getting these different relationships that are being built inside of this game. So I think that's a unique idea, but that's also bringing a lot of people to Rust.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The thing, I do like how all these big streamers are playing on the server. But one thing, what made Rust back in the day was a streamer going into a server and their viewers being able to come in and like kind of help them or be kind of weird and like say stuff what shouldn't be allowed. But that's what made it fun for the viewers, and that's, I mean, sure.
I feel like the same thing happened with Among Us too.
Yeah.
Since it's a 2-year-old game.
Yeah, so like Twitch can really make. So I was actually looking at like stats for Among Us, right? So Among Us, I think there's like 4 people on the team, and they made 2.8 million in 1 month. Think about that. You're a 4-person team, and you don't have to really pay for anything. You can split that between 4 of you. That's insane. And
I'm sure it's not all profit though.
Well,
No,
I mean it's a 2D game. It can't have cost that much.
They got to keep servers running and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
they definitely had to upgrade it.
No, because the servers aren't running on their computers or anything. They're running on your computer, so they don't run any of the servers.
Then why were they having server load problems when it first started?
Yeah.
That was Fall Guys.
Was it? I thought it was both.
No, Among Us had issues
Among Us did have server
loading
issues.
into
How?
They did. They had a lot of server
Because
issues
there's
at
server
first.
costs, Zach.
But I don't know how because you're running on your computer.
They had a ton of issues.
Shouldn't
at the
we always
beginning.
have to use like a different server because the server was always going
Yeah,
down
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works then, because unless like because it's definitely made in Unity, unless the actual Unity servers themselves, like the API base, went down or whatever they was using, that could have gone down. Because how that works is you get like so many slots, so they are paying, but there's only they have so many slots of like server run things, which is cool. I know my stuff into that. But let's talk about Epic Games. You know, let's move over to Twitch and how they can really make or break a game. And let's move over to Epic Games.
I'm interested about this one.
So, D-Man, you were talking before about, the free game last week or the other week was the
Mhm.
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's another free game right now. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Like Star
And then
something.
the next, something. It's some like 2D game,
Yeah.
some indie game or something.
Yeah.
Something that's like $24.99 normally. But the next game that they're giving away for free is Star Wars Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition.
That is
Yeah, I'm
bloody
definitely
pog.
gonna join into that one. We talked about Star Wars Battlefront yesterday, I believe, and I'll definitely hop on that.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Anybody here already own it?
me, Smile. Honestly, one of the
Meh.
best Star. When it first came out, it absolutely was terrible. But now it's really
Mhm.
good. I actually loves it. But the thing is, what I want to know is, because I own the first game, right? If I log in with this Epic Games one, what the Celebration Edition gives you all the skins for free. What I want to know is, will I be able to use my Origin account? So when I load it through Epic Games, will it load up Origin like normal things do? And will it just like give me all the skins for free, or will I have to like make a new account? That's what I'm interested in.
So when does this go up for free on the Epic Store?
14th of February, 14th of January.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up. 14th of January through.
I think it's 17th.
I was just there.
Epic's made some. They've had some really good
Thursday.
games on their website for free.
Yeah.
Definitely Jurassic was. I enjoyed that game a lot, and I actually played Battlefront with a friend at his house, and I enjoyed that. I just never got the opportunity to buy it. I just
Yeah.
never bought it.
Yeah.
The 14th
That's a
through
fun
the
one.
21st.
Oh wow, many days.
Yeah, that's a game we'll all have to hop on since we can all grab it.
Yeah.
And you can have
Yeah,
like pretty
that's
big
what I'm
parties on
putting
there.
it on.
You can have pretty big parties. I think it's kind of like, so the reason why it's called Star Wars Battlefront is because it's like Battlefront. Yeah, it uses like
I call Luke
squad.
Skywalker.
It uses like the same squad system, and it's like similar. Apart from it doesn't have any destruction really. I don't think, but it's really really fun. It's definitely a game you're gonna pick up if you have PC.
Yeah,
Just so
I'm putting
everybody
that on
knows.
my calendar.
Yes.
What's up, SFG?
This is a 60 gigabyte game. So,
Okay.
those of you who don't have 60 gigs,
Oof, that is big.
yep.
Get some.
Yeah, go to
gigabytes.
SSDdownloader.com, download
Yeah.
some SSD, get a
And
free
some RAM
terabyte.
while you're at it.
Get some more RAM while you're at it too.
Yep, you'll need that.
Downloader.com.
Oh, and it also
I got
supports
lucky.
it supports DirectX 12. That Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yep.
It supports DirectX 12, so it's got that really nice, good
But
FPS.
yeah, I was excited. I saw
DirectX
that on
11.
the topic.
No, it has 12 now.
Oh, I'm looking at it through Epic, and it's saying DirectX 11.
Well, yeah, so it comes DirectX 11, but you can enable DirectX 12 in the settings, which nobody does because, well, it doesn't look much better, and it doesn't give you doesn't give you extra frames either. So, well, it's just a lose-lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to something what was like a gameplay of the VR version came out this week. Hitman 3 VR. Some like gameplay came out of it this week, and there was a couple of questions in there, but we finally got them solved from the internet.
Should we wait for the VR thing until John's back, since you two are the only one with VR headsets?
Yeah, but it's a PS VR.
True.
So I mean, he'll be back in a minute, but I can talk about it for a while. So Hitman
So it's
3.
only for PSVR?
Yeah, currently, as they've stated, it's a PSVR exclusive, which is on PS4 and PS5. But what I'm interested in is how it's going to run on PlayStation 5, because there he is. So what me and John saw, he's off. What me and John saw in the Hitman 3 is that it uses physics, so it's got physics in the game, in the VR. So what I want to know is how is that going to run on a PlayStation 4? Because it's like you got massive crowds of people, you've got really high text quality, like textures, you've got physics. So what I want to know is how is that going to run in a VR headset on a PlayStation 4? Like a PlayStation 5 I could see easily running, but a PlayStation 4 I'm not quite sure on that one.
I don't know much about the PS4 VR. I mean, I'm sure they'll be running it at like a poop resolution and probably not the highest frame rate. And
so is this new at PS VR? Is this new?
No, it's been out. It's been out since it's been out for a while.
At least 3-4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they
it's actually. I think aren't they one of the leaders in the VR space right now? It's like one of the biggest selling VR headsets.
It goes Oculus, and then I think it goes PlayStation VR. Because Oculus is honestly one of the best VRs out there. Because it's mobile, it can be plugged on a PC. It's run by Facebook, so they steal your data. But apart from that, you'll be fine. But yeah, Hitman 3, PlayStation exclusive VR. It's coming on PC, but no VR support on that. And you can play the Hitman 1 maps and the Hitman 2 maps in there as well. But you have to own Hitman 1 and all its DLCs to play it. And you have to own Hitman 2 and all its DLCs to play them in Hitman 3. Which can be interesting, because, like, imagine you want to play the Hitman 1 games, you have to buy Hitman 1 all again. Which will be, of course, annoying. But it has a complete new engine, which gives it better physics, better lighting, shadows, and all that. Well, John's just got back. So, John, what's your opinion on Hitman 3 VR, and how do you think it's going to run?
It looks really nice. It looked like, at least in the trailers, it looks like it's got like tie and clothes physics, which is really good for all like the disguises and stuff. I think it's just gonna be fun. Like, it showed like pictures, videos of them chopping onions, looking around, and then turning around, murdering the guy. So I think that's just gonna be great in VR. I think it's from the ground up just works that way. Between like Thief Simulator, which has shown us that whole kind of sneaky thing can work really well, to anything between Blade and Sorcery and Pavlov, guns and swords always feel really nice.
So how do you think it's gonna run on a PlayStation 4? On the in the VR?
Not 100%.
Neither.
I think it's going to. It's either going to be hit or miss. It's either going to be like medium to low graphics and still look pretty okay, but lack a couple like the physics features, or because I can almost guarantee you it's also going to be built and put onto Steam at some point.
Oh yeah, it's got to be. More money. What can I say? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's like a lot of VR PC users.
Yeah.
So we can move on to something what Phil recently posted in the Discord today. Skate 4.
I'm excited about Skate 4.
Yeah, same.
I'm really excited about it. They were talking about like an open world, more like open world interactions with like computer, like AI stuff like that. And an open world co-op too, so like your friends will be able to come skate with you, and like you had your own skate team, you know what I'm saying? So you could go through and build a legacy with your friends instead of just yourself, which is I think really, really cool. I'm just excited for a skate game with purpose. I don't really have too much of a problem with like Skater XL or anything like that. Like, it is a really fun game. It just gets boring really fast for me because there's no like true objective other than just go do what you want. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the whole objective, the purpose of it, the you're building a brand, you're building a legacy, stuff like that.
I never got too much into it. I played it, but I think it was a very good. It was definitely a childhood game for a while. I mean, Skate 4, like the Skate brand, has been around for a while, but I don't know. I've kind of lost a lot of interest in it. I feel like it's kind of the same thing, just a different map.
Well,
But
me and Phil are the two oldest people here, I think, right now for sure. And we grew up in a time when the Tony Hawk Pro Skater
Tetris.
games were like reigned supreme for skateboarding stuff. The only other skateboarding games at the time were things like X Games skateboarding, which is whack, Thrasher skateboarding, which is whack. And Pro Skater 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up through Underground 1 and Underground 2 was like the skateboarding game. And then all of a sudden, around the time I think American Wasteland had come out, that was when Skate 1 had launched. And and it just like
completely revolutionized like the whole skateboarding video game. Like,
and
it
a
just
lot
like
of
took
games
over too.
A lot of games were doing that thing with like trying to flick the sticks, to give you more like of an analog feel for like what you were actually doing in the game. Like Fight Night, for example, with the boxing with the sticks.
Yeah, with the weaving and stuff like that. Yeah.
And so skate really felt right for the time. It felt like what skateboarding games needed at the time for sure. And I think Skate 4 hopefully will be that again.
But skateboarding's just been getting like a huge hype recently again. You know what I'm saying? It's been like coming back in the news and stuff like that. And I don't know, just the
everything
hype
does
around
go
it.
full circle, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. I mean, there's no other skateboard game out there really like killing the game right now. There's no competition for them other than Skater XL, and I think the sky's the limit for them.
Yeah, Skate 4 I think is gonna have really good sales if they can make a really good game.
Yeah.
I think whether or not they make a good game, it's gonna sell well.
True.
Yeah,
true. It's Skate.
They already have it for pre-order on in some Australia website.
Oh, interesting.
Release date, this says here, rumored for like June 2021, so that's this year.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
They said late.
Didn't they like start developing in
We'll
2020?
Yeah, they like just announced that they started development like last, like what was it? What was last year? It was maybe the year before, I think.
I think
like
it was 2020.
Game Awards.
I definitely think it was 2020.
No, they announced it in 2019.
Oh.
Yeah, it was definitely 2019. Yeah.
Oh, I could see it then coming in 2020 then. I mean 2021. Yeah.
I don't know.
But it was like I believe it was late 2019.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it, right? If they've still got access to all their old files, right, they can just input scripts from their old games into this new one. So it's like they're not building from nothing. They still have like a few things they have. And like 2 years.
That's assuming that EA kept that stuff.
Well,
I mean, we've seen what's happened with like they like throw out the master copies of like Final Fantasy and stuff. So.
Yeah, so it was June 18th of 2020.
Was when they announced it officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would make it a year from announce that they were just starting development to release. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Unless they were working on it before, like keeping it under the radar type deal.
But I think more realistically, we would probably be looking at like June 2023. Like, unfortunately, like
or 2021.
Yeah,
I could see 2021.
I could see 2021 or 2022.
22, or at the end of 21 or like middle of 22.
I could see it being this year. I could. Maybe
I can't.
Maybe not like a full like complete everything, but like most games are coming in early access now because it's easy.
Well, they get hype and money off of that.
Exactly.
EA isn't the type to early access a game, though.
That's debatable. Have you seen Star Wars Battlefront 2 at launch? Hey, you want this? Money. Hey, you want money? Hey.
I know, like, what, Subnautica Below Zero's been in, like, alpha for ages. I still believe they still are in alpha.
Yeah.
I know games
I don't think Subnautica's in EA.
Or early access or whatever.
I'm reading a list of...
A lot of developers do that now, is they just kind of...
Yeah, a lot of developers do, but I don't think EA typically
True,
does.
EA isn't normally that type of person. They're just in it for the money mostly, but they're not really that type of person who releases a game early.
No.
There might be like a demo or something before the game comes out, like kind of like there was the beta with Anthem, the free open beta with Anthem. Maybe we'll get like
what a terrible game.
So the article that I was reading that was talking about the open world and everything, is they're saying that the rumors suggest that Skate 4 is going to be a surprise launch title for the PS5 and the Series X late in 2020.
Ooh, 2021.
Surprise launch
And
though would mean that the launch window already came and went. 2020 is over.
for PS5, I don't think it's been. They've already said it'd be PS4, and I don't think they've said if it's a newer gen yet, or because they were talking about it just being PC. I do think for newer gen.
PC would be cool. I assume it's going to be like, okay,
I think
you
it
need
was
a
going to be
controller.
PC came out before like the PS5 in the 2020s or the Xbox Series X. I don't know, 20.
Well, I hope they do put it on PC because I hate that EA,
Yeah.
for a long time hasn't put a lot of their games on PC. Like no Fight Night, no Skate 1 through 3.
No,
I mean,
Fight
sure, I
Night
can
would've been
find it.
awesome.
I mean, sure, I can find it hard because they don't have to target one thing. They have to target a wide audience of like specs. What I could see, yeah, that's why some people put off from putting it on PC. But PC does have a lot of advantages, so I feel like they should.
Modern consoles are basically just PCs. Like they're
Yeah.
using this like same processor architecture, same types of graphics cards and RAM and stuff. So it's getting less and less. That's less and less an excuse these days. Back with the Xbox 360 and PS3, it made sense because that was using PowerPC architecture versus like computers at the time were using x86. But like now it doesn't make sense, to keep a game off PC. You're basically just not selling it to another market
Right.
for no reason. Unless you have
Yeah.
an exclusivity deal and somebody is paying you to withhold it from that platform, I don't see the point.
If Cyberpunk can do it, anyone can. So stop complaining.
New Nintendo Switch revision. Talking about hardware and consoles and stuff. There's rumors again, just like there is all the time, that there's going to be a Nintendo Switch Pro. The rumors this time though are coming from the firmware for the system. I guess in the firmware, there's code that references like a new processor that's not currently found in any of the Switch models, and a new screen model that's not currently found in any of the Switch models.
Do we really need a new Nintendo Switch though?
Yes.
Yeah. One that can hit,
not?
higher ends of the, dynamic resolution.
That's
Like,
So who-
60 hertz.
typical
has
Nintendo
one?
for you.
who has a Switch?
Yeah.
The
Is
three
it
of
worth
us?
it? I was looking at it. I've never got one or anything. I didn't even think about getting one, but
I love
Is
my
it
Switch.
is it worth
Yeah.
it?
Hundreds of hours spent playing with it.
If you ever find yourself on the couch and mindlessly watching television, it's the first perfect thing to pick up and put in your hands.
Mhm.
Yep. Agreed.
I just like lay with it on my chest, so when I'm like too bored of what I'm watching, I can just be like,
Pull right up.
All right. I mean, I never got into I had a DS and stuff like that, but when the Switches came out, I never kind of
Well,
went
you gotta-
to it.
You got to think of it this way: the Switch is the new DS. They've completely
Right,
changed
right.
the dynamic because now you can plug it into your TV and sit on your couch and play on your TV, and then connect your console and take it with you when you're running out the door for something. So it's a completely new,
Yeah,
meta.
I've been
And I don't think
thinking
they've
about it.
done very many hardware updates since it came out.
So as
If
far
I'm
as the Switch goes, they had the original model, with that switched, and then they released the Switch Lite, the non-switching handheld only, the one that John's got, I believe, and
I've
then
got the standard Switch.
you got the standard.
I sold my Switch Lite. I sold
Oh,
my
I
Switch
didn't-
Lite.
Okay,
Yeah, I have
And
the
then-
Animal Crossing Switch.
that's right. And then
Buggers.
And then the Animal Crossing one is actually technically another hardware revision, though, because that's got the new processor chip inside of it, which actually it's the same battery capacity. It's just a more efficient chip, so you get better battery life out of the same size battery. And then with the new one, because they're not really sure, what direction they're going to go with it. Rumors are saying potentially either a higher resolution screen or better battery life again, or one of the things was talk of the chip that they're referencing not being inside of the new Switch itself, but being inside of the new Switch dock, or something like that, so that way when you dock the Switch, that it will actually like be able to kind of like access like both chip simultaneously, and then like push more power when it's docked, but still then run basically like a normal Switch does now when it's not docked. So there's a lot of speculation about like how it could go. But I think if it's a more powerful actual like Switch tablet, I think that's something I'd be more on board with, something I'd be more likely to buy than if it was just a more powerful dock. Especially, I'm not gaming on a 4K TV. I'm not even gaming with my Switch on the TV often. Realistically, I'd say I spend
Ever using my Switch on the TV when I
yeah,
had it.
most of the time is spent handheld for me. Very, rarely playing on the TV. And when I do, it's something like I'm playing like Mario Kart or Monopoly, not something that needs to be like 4K, or anything crazy.
When did it come out? When did the Switch come out?
We're on year 3, I think now.
I think it was like 4. I think it's 4 years this year. I think it was 20.
So they could seriously make a good money coming up with a Nintendo Switch 4, or not 4, but a Pro.
Well, the thing is, they're still selling through stock on the current Switch models. So, like they just put out the NDP numbers for Japan the other, for the week. Like, and the Switch, I think, was the top selling system in Japan last week or something like that. And it's consistently like right now, I think out of the top 10 games, top 10 top sold physical copies of games in Japan last week, it was like all Nintendo Switch games in the top 10. So the Switch, like, I mean, in Japan is still killing it, and in the US is still killing it. They could release a hardware revision right now, but I don't even know that
they could do what Rockstar does and just kind of make bank off of it, wait till it goes down, and then come up with a GTA 6 or a new Nintendo Switch or something.
They could just keep coasting for a while.
Okay.
But I don't know. We've seen the pattern of like Nintendo revising their handhelds over and over and over again. Like the Game Boy Advance to the SP to the SP 101 to the Micro, and then with the DS you had your DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL, 3DS you had your new 3DS, new 3DS XL, and 2DS, new 2DS XL. There's like 7 revisions of the 3DS. So I think it'd be foolish to think that we're only going to see like 2 like visual variants of the Switch like we currently have. I think in the end there'll at least end up being like 3 or 4 different Switches. It'll just be a matter of time.
I would love to see a bigger battery life with a Switch and more, not necessarily retro, but revamped games like DS games that used to be the OGs, the classics, the go-tos, remade so that they can be played on a Switch.
Like what DS games? Anything specific? Wish list real quick.
Pokemon Rangers.
Yep. Any of the Pokemons. There's just a ton.
Yeah.
Do you think Nintendo would ever take their games and put it on Steam instead of just their own platform specifically?
Nope.
Well, no, they wouldn't be able to because, number one, that would have to be a partnership with Steam, and Nintendo doesn't want to give up their money to Steam because Steam would get profit in that.
Right.
And number two, they would have to remap their games completely. They'd have to pretty much remake them for the graphics that computers put out now and for the controls. Everybody's on mouse and keyboard on PC versus controller, and
oh yeah,
I feel like they'd make a lot of money putting like Mario Kart on PC or something. I think a lot of people jump at that instead of having to buy a whole new console or something to.
Nintendo over the past forever has been very, very protective of their IPs. There was like a fan-made Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, I think it was, remake in 3D for like on a web game, and it was shut down completely, and they charged them for it. Like small stuff like that that they really don't need to do. They've always been very protective of their properties. So I don't see them ever giving up anything.
I want to see N64 games, Game Boy games. Like, how they have the Nintendo Switch Online when we're on the subject of wish list for the Switch. They have the NES games and the Super NES games, the kind of curated library of Nintendo first party stuff you can play. I'd love to see them expand that to the Game Boy Color games I used to play as a kid, and the N64 games I used to play as a kid. Those would be the two main. Growing up in the '90s, I didn't play much Super Nintendo. I played a lot of Game Boy and I played a lot of N64 with my cousins and stuff. So those would be the systems that I'd want to see, kind of dropped on there. But
if
I
they
want
drop
to see
Pokemon
in
Stadium. Oh,
some
Pokemon
Stadium,
would be a medium.
especially with the 2-player online that they have with the Switch Online stuff, that would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to see Pokemon Emerald come back as a Switch game. That 2D, top down God view, pixelated kind of game. Oh,
Real quickly on the subject of Pokemon, SFD, have you seen anything about the Diamond Pearl remake for Switch?
Diamond Pearl remake? No, I haven't.
So they're looking at Diamond Pearl as the next set of remakes, and they're potentially making it into the same way Sword and Shield is, that third-person kind of view, running around, and a little bit higher res. It seems like it might be one of their highest res games coming out.
Wow.
But so that's hopeful, but it's got very little talk about it, and it's just rumors at the moment. I think Kotaku did a thing on it most recently.
It's the 25th anniversary of Pokemon this year.
Ooh.
Is it really?
Jeez.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised that they do some sort of in-game event.
Pokemon Go.
I was about to say Pokemon Go.
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised since they just dropped the new Sword and Shield expansion packs that give you 2 separate islands, or 2 separate areas of new play, a ton of new Pokemon that you can catch and battle. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with some sort of event at the stadium. Some new bad guys show up on the island and you gotta, get rid of them, and then a huge boss fight at the end or something like that.
Or another thing actually about what you were saying, they just did that 35th anniversary Mario collection. Maybe they'll do a 25th anniversary Pokemon game collection.
True.
Maybe you get your wish this year, actually.
Oof.
I doubt that one, though.
Did you see, so for the 20th anniversary, they did a special edition release of the green, red, and blue as a 2DS console with see-through plastic. So if they hold on to that, we're really doing something big for Pokemon every time.
Maybe a Switch.
I think we could see.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Finally get a crystal, clear,
Oh.
what were those called? The Fun series or something for the N64?
The funky colors where it was
yeah.
They had a slogan for it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, though, Pokemon, awesome, but the Tetris champion and some unfortunate news passed away.
Yeah, that was an interesting one to learn about. I didn't know that they had a Tetris champion. I didn't know that was a thing. Apparently, he even had a movie off of him, the Ecstasy of Order, the Tetris master. But he passed away at 39. He's 7-time champion of Tetris. Anybody ever play that game in their childhood?
Long time ago.
Is that? I know I have covered has a flip phone, and that's all he can play is a Tetris game. But I thought that was interesting to put on there. I didn't realize Tetris was a game.
Every once in a while, you'll see some big Tetris news about the championships, like that upset with that young kid who won, and stuff like that.
Well, you got to remember, Tetris has been out for years now, so there's always been something of a huge following for Tetris, especially for people who that's all they would play when they were younger and growing up.
It's such a
the only thing that was out was Tetris. So that crew is getting older, so they're gonna, stay somewhat in touch still.
And as far as I can tell, they haven't received said anything about how he passed away. But I thought it was I know everybody is probably everybody knows what Tetris is, and that'd be an interesting thing too.
Yeah, rest in peace, Jonas. We hardly knew you.
7-time Tetris champion.
Steam cracked 25 million concurrent users at the beginning of the new year. Something, Zach, do you know about this?
I posted on there. It's the largest concurrent viewers, users. It's just kind of Steam is still getting big, even though we're in 2021 and it's
Yeah,
surprising.
PC gaming is a growing market still right now. It's getting bigger than ever right now. When did they hit the 25 million concurrent? Do you know the date on that?
It is January 2nd. So yeah, so right is going into 2021, but it's crazy to see that how much they're growing over the few years that they've had.
25 million is a lot of people, yeah, for real.
Yeah,
I think it's all because of COVID. Unfortunately,
yeah, I know, yeah.
Home, everyone's playing games more. I mean, that's like why the new Xbox and the new PlayStation are sold out right now.
That dog just opened a door.
Oh my god, I saw that. I looked at you and you were like,
wait, who? Whose dog?
I thought it was a
bro.
Whose dog?
Like, see how John's door handle is right there?
Yeah.
The dog grabbed the handle and opened the door.
Wait,
I
dog.
clipped it. I'm about to watch.
Yeah, my dog can do both. He can open it and
Someone clip it.
I did.
He can do both. And he opened it back in. Come on.
All right, that was
Come
wild.
on, you just shut it. Yeah. Okay.
Whose thing was the new Acer
Yeah, no.
Predator gaming monitor?
Oh,
275.
No, that's what I put. I'm on the bottom.
So we got.
Bottom. But yeah, my dog likes to. Jeez. Yeah, so
I'm watching the clip right
Acer's Predator. Oh yeah, is it on? No, I'm
I
just
published.
Oh my god, it did it again. It did it
Is
again.
he opening it again? He almost got it.
go
Go
on, you can do it.
So that's the whole news. Acer's just got a new monitor coming out.
Oh,
It's
Holy
supposedly.
crap. Oh my gosh.
Put it in the chat.
It's supposed to be like in a
30%
new type of. I don't know. Do you know the price of this monitor? It's supposed to be $1,100. I feel like that's. I don't know. Is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not big into stuff like that, like super high end monitors for no reason. I guess like that's
I'm not
something-
either, but 275 hertz sounds like a lot. I thought it'd be kind of interesting to see technology is definitely getting up there. And I think this year in technology is going to be kind of big.
Marky Freeway NY was supposed to be with us this evening. He unfortunately was not able to make it to this episode. He just recently got a new monitor, like a 34-inch, like
Right.
Curved.
Yeah,
like
I think
something
I
crazy.
think all
like
I go for is curve.
40p.
Can you even run
Um,
275
I
hertz
think
though?
I think everybody's going to go towards the curve monitor.
Nah,
I
I'm
know
okay,
all my
mate.
monitors are curved.
I
Is
don't
he
like
still
curve.
trying? Yeah.
I don't like
It
curve. If I want a curve, right, I just buy 3 separate monitors and curve them. Like, I'm not gonna buy one monitor and curve. I'm all good on that one.
Both my monitors are curved. I definitely enjoy it.
The
I
thing,
don't know. I feel like I wouldn't get a monitor that's not curved.
the thing is, if it's curved, right, you're gonna be looking like this, and you're gonna see your monitors in your side, and you can't change you can't change the curveness of that. If I just buy 2 extra monitors like I have, I can move these monitors and change the curve. So, like, I kind of like having just 3 separate monitors instead of one single one that's curved. Well, I
I
guess.
think
I mean, if I had to choose between one bigger curved monitor and like a couple more like medium sized flat monitors, I'd pick the flat monitors.
Yeah.
But if I could still have like, if say I could just have like two 24-inch curved monitors right here, I don't know, I still probably wouldn't do that either because it wouldn't make much sense. The thing about a curved like screen is for it to be like effective in like what it's trying to achieve, you have to be sitting the right distance from it,
Yeah.
like and centered to it. So in a 2 or 3 screen setup where I'm like looking over to the right to read chat or something, it wouldn't even make sense for that screen to be curved because I'm not looking at it from the right viewing angle.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
so
interesting.
it really all depends. I mean, I used to work at Best Buy. I used to sell people curved screens, and like, you know, people would be like, "Oh, it's just a gimmick, right?" And I'd show them the display. I'd be like, "Well, if you're stand right here where I'm standing, look at both of these screens showing the same image. and if you let the curved one kind of wrap around your periphery, then yeah, it kind of has an effect, but it's really like,
I think the curved monitors are meant for like a 4 to 5 screen setup where you can put them end to end and really kind of wrap and immerse yourself.
They look nice too if you have a lot of curved monitors at the same time kind of surrounding you. It looks really cool. But all mine, I've had one that wasn't, and then as I upgraded my monitors, they've gradually become curved. I think I have a 32-inch curved monitor or something like that, and besides a 27 curved inch monitor. So I don't know. I've always
I'm not sold on it personally. The idea of going to curved for most of my screens. Like I said, I just don't.
I'd go curved for a big TV, but I would never do it.
Yeah. I have to agree on that one.
I'm satisfied with flat. I think flat you can get higher refresh rate easier, or like cheaper.
Yeah.
You can get higher.
The thing
like,
about
stats cheaper and
curved,
everything else.
the thing about a curved panel versus a flat panel is it's the same panel. They're both because they just take the plastic screen panel and put it in a curved enclosure. Because like all the LED panels are plastic. They're just flexible pieces of plastic. So all they do is instead of inserting it into a flat frame, they just insert it into a curved frame. It's not like, a different panel. It's just curved.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
talking about
surprised.
this one?
I wouldn't be surprised if something comes up with, you know how Motorola just came out with their new folding phone. I don't remember what it's called. I wouldn't be surprised if you could get, a screen that can flip up or flip to the side or flips out in, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's coming in the future. That way you can be more portable.
They have the rollout TVs already. The ones that are
especially with
it's in a box and it like lifts up out and it can do like custom aspect ratios. So like, how a lot of YouTube videos might be like wider than 16:9 these days, like, like whatever 21:9. It'll only open the screen to a 21:9 aspect ratio, and then it'll just play instead of having the black bars at the top and the bottom. So they have stuff like that you can buy right now.
Was he able to clip the dog thing in the background?
I clipped it.
Nice. I'll go watch that.
It's in the Powercast notebook.
I know flip phones are starting to make their way back in. Samsung's trying to make a flip phone, and I think it's kind of a little bit ridiculous.
That's who it was, Samsung.
Well, Motorola put out the Moto Z Flip. Samsung put out, or something like that. Because they had one too. Or no, they put out the Razr. The Razr.
Yeah.
And then it was Samsung that had the Z Flip, the clamshell folding one.
Yeah.
And then they had the one, or maybe I'm mixing the names up, but then they had the one that was like the book style folding one too. And then they've already released the second generation of that one.
That's
so they already
crazy.
have Samsung
I don't
put out
see the appeal.
I guess I see the appeal of ones that fold into the size of a tablet. Because like it's something that's not much thicker. Like it's supposed to be about twice the thickness of a regular smartphone. So not a ton thicker, maybe like that instead of like, whatever. And then it folds out to like double the screen size, So if you picture, I guess, like two of these right next to each other, you'd have. I didn't know.
I thought it was. Seems interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen any of the YouTube videos or anything. I mean, and then too, not only that, did they already release, the revision, but they've already then had the Pablo Escobar holding company reskin the phones and try to sell them as like the Pablo Escobar fold phones. So I mean, like, the
24 karat version, 24 karat gold.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like I feel like every few years something circles back around, especially with haircuts and fashion. So I guess last year or whatever was technology. But I don't know. That's
the next big thing from phones that they're starting to work on, it seems like, is the rollout phones. So they have this like these phones, I guess, where there's like a button on the side, and then there's a mechanism under the screen that allows the phone to just like you press a button and it rolls out and just gets wider. And then you press a button again and it rolls in and gets
that would be cool. I would like that.
Yeah, there's videos of that on YouTube. If you just look up like rolling phone, like self-rolling phone on YouTube.
That's
Or
close
something
to
like
like the futuristic movies, how they have it on their wrist. You can just flip your wrist, and it's right there, and it pops out of your watch or something.
that. Yeah, just whoop.
Yeah,
Oh.
but that'd be good for a lot of women who don't have pockets. You can kind of clip your phone to the side like a knife clip or something. I don't know.
So a new idea that I think this was a contribution from you, D-Man.
Yeah.
There's a thing here to talk about new shows and suggestions for what to watch on like Netflix, Hulu, stuff like that. HBO Now.
Speaking of,
I guess I have to pull up my
Ha!
Netflix to show some
Go ahead.
stuff. I don't know. I think. Have you seen Space Force on Netflix? That's one I would certainly suggest.
I couldn't get
It's
into
a
it.
I like Space Force.
That's
It's
a funny
definitely
one.
a comedy.
Yeah, that was. I'm on episode like 5, sadly, because I don't want to. The comedy's good. Let's see. I was talking to Luke about the 4400. It's an old show, but I kind of got glued to that one. What is this one? Another Life. Going down.
For,
Have you guys watched
for me,
the?
I was gonna say a couple real quick. For me, I watched a couple episodes of Narcos recently. Narcos is off to a really strong start. I recently finished all 5 seasons of Better Call Saul. I think I like Better Call Saul maybe better than Breaking Bad. So if you liked Breaking Bad and haven't given Better
What?
Call Saul a chance, yeah,
Really?
I prefer the more the dramedy, more like the comedic dramedy side of it than like I don't know. I felt like the whole like I'm a meth dealer thing was like a little far fetched. Relatively, I don't know. It just
I
seems
fell
more,
off of Better Call Saul. I couldn't get with it.
it was funny. I don't know. Kept me
I
going.
definitely got a nice following though.
The 100 is beyond amazing. That is a really good show to watch if you're stuck at home. You can just binge watch it. It's about their Earth is destroyed, and you're stuck out in space on an ark type of style, and they send 100 people to Earth to see if it's survivable as they're about to run out of oxygen, and that one's and come to find out there's people already on the Earth, and then they try killing everybody on the Earth, and now there's a war, and the people that were already on Earth, some of them can't go out and outside because of the radiation. It's a very interesting concept.
SFD, what have you been watching?
I haven't been watching very much. I've been watching more Twitch streams than Netflix or Hulu or anything like that. But definitely one of my Hulu picks is to go back and binge watch MythBusters. That really is
Yes,
my
especially when he passed away.
yep. Especially since Grant Imahara has passed away now.
Yeah.
Princess Pistol put in the chat 100 children / teens at that. 100 children / teens. I'm assuming that's going off one of the shows that you put, D-Man.
Yeah, 100 children / teens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Has anybody watched the Social Dilemma? Casey Neistat went on Twitter and suggested it to a lot of people.
Nope,
I have not.
haven't seen that.
I started it, but
yeah, just about the same. I started it and then I was done with it.
I'm at 6 minutes on it. I want to watch it. It seems an interesting learning thing. It seems something to learn, but
Phil, you got anything for us?
I haven't really been watching too many TV shows that really get you like sucked in like that. I've been watching more like there's this show called Dark Tourism. So there's nothing like there's no like big plot or anything to it. This guy just goes to like countries and like he goes to where Pablo Escobar lived and like lives like the Pablo Escobar life and or he goes to like Japan where like these people live where the government says it's okay but there's like 10 times the radiation of Chernobyl and stuff like that.
wow.
Just like really really weird touristy spots that like your ordinary people wouldn't go to. It's pretty cool. So I call it dark tourism.
It's pretty wild. What about you, John? Anything crazy?
There's 2 shows that I've been watching. One kind of rewatching, Scrubs. I started that one back up, just to kind of, rewatch it. It was about time. And then also the History of Swear Words on Netflix. It's hosted by Nicolas Cage. Brand new, just came out. Kind of really, really funny. And they
I
do a great
saw
job.
that.
They do a great job of like explaining the history of the swear word, where it comes from, what it's used in, and how media has evolved it over time.
That sounds funny.
What's
What was
I
it
what's
for
it
that?
called
needing
again?
to check that out.
The History
Yeah.
of Swear Words or something like that,
Huh.
or History of Curse Words or whatever the name is.
I think
It's
you might
super
have. I think you might have won this portion of the.
Yeah,
Powercast.
that's the
Yeah, that's
that
more. That's
seems
really recent.
top 10 on the Netflix watch.
I mean, the
Yep.
first 10 minutes you see Nicolas Cage go full Nicolas Cage and talk about himself in movies at the same time.
Hmm.
That's cool.
I know Cobra Kai's getting a little bit. The TV show is getting popularity on Netflix with it being the top 10 also.
Yeah,
Getting
that's
suggestions.
making a comeback. It was as soon as it came out, it was an instant hit with all the Karate Kid fans, and then
Right.
it kind of died off. And
I want to try this new one called Unknown. He's got, if you've ever seen
I watched a little bit
one
of
where the
that.
bombs in the airplane. What's this guy's name?
All right, Zach, you got any show suggestions for us though? Anything you've been
Nah,
watching
mate.
recently?
Nah, man, I play games. I don't watch.
Yeah, bro, if you play games, you be streaming. That's how I know you lying.
Too far, man.
I know Soul on Disney Plus is getting a lot of traction too.
Soul was really good. I do gotta say that the new movie Soul on Disney Plus, fully free. They were gonna release it in theaters, but they didn't. Watch it. Great movie. And it talks about like metaphysical. It talks about death and
merch
life
time.
and everything.
Yo,
great.
sponsoring out his merch. I don't have my coffee
Zach,
mug
where's
with
your
me, I'm
stickers?
sorry.
Yo,
Zach, where's your stickers at, mate?
up my ass.
We can stick us out, mate.
Here.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna be it for this episode. Is pretty much gonna be time to wrap it up. If anybody wants to like shout out their stream or anything, like
we
you can
are
go to
gonna raid someone
LukeThomasNY.com to
today. We are
watch me
gonna raid
stream,
someone.
to buy my merch, to donate now. LukeThomasNY.com.
We are gonna
You
raid
can
someone
go on
this episode.
YouTube and search D-Man77 Gaming. You can watch all
Who is
my
the Powercast?
videos and
Raid?
I stream all
The
the
Powercast
time.
is going to raid a channel called Veteran Gamers, and it's a podcast which they talk about games and stuff. So I thought, hey, suitable. It's like ours. Why not give them a bit of support?
Cool.
Yeah, and why not?
It was a lot of fun. First
And-
time being
yeah.
on the
I mean, he's got that
podcast
raid
here.
channel.
Nobody else
Definitely
wants to
enjoyed
shout
it.
out anything else.
Learned a lot.
PGersENY on Twitch. Shout out to firemen EMS all over the world.
Yeah, fireman.
Firemen and women all over the world.
Yep.
Shout out
The
to
Capitol
the
Police.
UK.
It's
pray
me!
for them. Nothing
Brexit!
wrong with them. They just
Not
all
Brexit!
ugly.
Lockdown!
Brexit.
COVID 20.
Yeah.
The
That's episode 4 of the Powercast.
That is the episode 4. And what we normally do is
We've hit a month.
we all say goodbye, and then I stop recording, and then we raid. That's normally what we're gonna do. So, goodbye all.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.